Good morning, Luke. My name's Brittany. I teach the Enriched Geometry at Grand Forks Central. Sorry for getting back to you a few days later than I anticipated, just that sometimes how life gets. But I hope this video is informative, and if you have any questions after, please let me know. This document I shared with you is what the geometry team has been working on in our PLCs for the last few years. We haven't really started working on just an enriched document of the scope and sequence, but really, um, the sequence is the same. We cover a few more things in more detail or a couple topics more that the regular geometry doesn't cover, but this is just a good starting point for you. You can go through this, and if you have any questions, you can let me know. If we ever, like next year, start working on an enriched document, I would definitely share that information with you. But the geometry team has just been working on the regular geometry as of now until we get this solidified before moving on to the different levels of geometry. But this does a nice job of going through what topics we cover in the order we cover them and what semester. Um, in our book, the Green McGraw-Hill Geometry, and I don't know if you guys have copies of that at Valley or not, but follows this sequence almost perfectly. And it does cover the topics that are considered enriched in our state standards. So really, I mean, the goal is to in August, my goal is to teach the book cover to cover because it covers the standards and the extra stuff for the enriched course. But truly, I've taught this. I think this is my seventh or eighth year, and I haven't been able to do that since before COVID, just because the COVID hump and kids are just a little bit different. But I'm definitely trying to get back to that. I know Dale at Red River doesn't seem to have as quite of an issue getting through the material like I seem to, but we have different kids and just different circumstances. So if you have any questions about that, I'm sure he would feel comfortable to answer any of your questions that you have if they pertain to him versus me. Sorry, I'm rambling. Okay, so there's this document. But the real thing I wanted to show you and why I'm making a video is this McGraw-Hill website. Um, Years ago when I started teaching the class, Lorraine O'Shea was the person that got me hooked up onto here. So I'm not sure who you'd contact out at MSEC if it's still Lorraine's job, but it's a really nice website with like all of our resources on it. So if you go to menu, resources, it breaks it down per chapter. I'll just start with chapter 1, and each chapter is then broken up into its lesson. So I'll pick the first one. But in this page here, you have pre-made lessons, you have vocab worksheets. If you have multilingual learners, I'm not really sure. Here's like a pre-made lesson. I already downloaded it. It's just a PowerPoint. There it is. But it's pre-made. It follows the book perfectly. It's pretty nicely set up. Again, I'm not sure how things are done in your math classroom, but this is a very nice starting point. I think what you can accomplish in your class period versus me is much different. I usually have classes of like 30, and I feel like the middle schools don't typically have classes of that size. So I feel like you guys can probably march through things faster than I'm able to. But, anyways, that's a great starting point. And then they have different worksheets. So there's skills practice, study guide, and intervention. It's all leveled, obviously. And then even like word problems, so like more like the next higher order of thinking. But if you open up the document, they're editable, take screenshots or whatever. So this is a really great starting point for somebody who's just starting. And at the very end, you can look at the pre-made tests that go with the book. So there's lesson quizzes in here too. So like if you wanted to do a lesson check on the first two sections, like or few sections, they have different options. This is to be about halfway through, but there is like lesson checks. Let me try this one. Yeah, so like this would be like a more of like a lesson check versus like an actual quiz, right? Just again, they have lots of options for you to pick from, lots of problems. There's many versions of the test if you're more of like a multiple choice test giver, or if you want short answers, there's like I think 4 or 5 different forms. If you do like form A, it's the easiest and it's multiple choice. It goes like to form D and they get a little bit more challenging. So this one's all multiple choice. And then I don't know if you could pick one later on. We'll go right here. The questions are similar. Sometimes they're more challenging. Obviously, like this is Form 3, so it should be more challenging than Form 1. But anyways, this website is really what I pulled almost all my stuff from, because it's tailored to the book. The book does a nice job for our enriched classes. If you need, I don't know if I'm not sure if I said it, but if you need any more textbooks for your kids, let me know. And we have extra ones here at Central that we could send over. But I think the best starting point for you would be to get hooked up on this website. I know I sent a similar video like this to Carla Haven, who was working with, I can't remember his name, but who is ever teaching enriched geometry over at South. So if you have no luck with Lorraine O'Shea, maybe shoot Carla Haven an email and see if like how they got their middle school teacher hooked up on this website. 'Cause I think they've been using this solely to help get things rolling over there. But in my classroom, I use a combination of these worksheets, stuff from the book, supplemental things that I've either made myself or I find online, or I just try to keep it different. But this is definitely a great starting point for you. Here's our scope and sequence that we follow. And things will look differently in your classroom than they do in Dale or my classroom, just because I just different clientele. I think you guys will have smaller classes. I just think things are maybe done a little differently. At the middle school level, maybe I'm ignorant to say that, but things are done differently between there's two high schools too. So if you have any other questions, let me know, and I hope you have a great end of your school year.